Hi Gemini, this is your monthly reading for the month of February for Sun, Moon, and Rising. Please keep in mind that this is a general reading and this will not resonate for every single Geminis out there. Alright you guys, let's get started. What is happening for my Geminis for the month of February? So we have the World. We have the Will, the Fool, and the Devil. We have the Eight of Wands. We have the Strength card, the Six of Wands, Chariot, the Ace of Cups, and the Emperor. And then we have the Three of Cups. So, Gemini, this is kind of interesting energy. I feel like for some of you guys for the month of February, you guys are kind of exploring new parts of yourself, but you're also kind of seem to be experiencing a little bit of bad luck for the month of February. Like little tiny things seem to be happening. It doesn't necessarily feel like something super major or drastic happening in your life, although for some of you guys that's definitely the case. But like for the majority of the Geminis that I'm picking up for, some of you guys are going to just be experiencing just a little bit of difficulties when it comes to starting something new, or when it comes to starting something. You're just going to see like a little bit of either hesitancy on other people, or you're just going to be experiencing like little delays. And for a lot of you guys, I'm really getting the sense that you're kind of afraid to, like you're breaking some type of cycle this month, but it almost feels like you're not talking to somebody, or you're holding back some type of information. Because it starts off like you're trying to start something here, but then there's something that's kind of holding you guys from really moving forward or expressing yourself. Because I feel like you guys are coming off as this Emperor here, Gemini, and with that Three of Cups, I feel like you're hanging around a lot of people. But maybe a part of you is being more like reserved. Maybe you're not as chatty, or a lot of people maybe are questioning you. Oh, are you doing okay? Are you doing all right? And you're like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine. And maybe a part of you guys are like worried that people can maybe see through you this month. So I feel like some of my Geminis are going to be experiencing some insecurities. I think some of you guys are in the middle of healing relationships in February, or at least be working towards healing a relationship, because I'm getting that death and that rebirth. It's like you're creating and you're changing cycles, but you're having to see the parts that you play as well. Like you guys hold back maybe a lot more emotionally than you realize. But I feel like a lot of you guys, you're going to be healing some type of relationship in February, or just healing, being around people that are more healing, more uplifting for you. For a lot of you guys, I feel like you've been dealing with a lot of heartbreak, or you've been focusing a lot more on the past disappointments, or just things that are not going right. And I think that for a lot of you guys, this has been something that has been really difficult for you. Some of you guys aren't talking because you know that if you try to talk to somebody, it's almost like a one-sided conversation, or it just never goes anywhere. It doesn't change the outcome. Some of you guys are trying to be independent on your own, or just come off independent, come off like you are all put together. Which is nothing wrong with that, but I feel like for a lot of you guys, it's almost like you're trying not to show that you feel lost. Like maybe for the month of February, you guys are really going to be more withdrawn, not as communicative with other people, not as open to other people, because I feel like a lot of you guys are kind of going through a transformation. And I think that you guys are really working on letting something go or starting something new. It just feels like some of you guys want to start something new, but maybe you just don't want to broadcast that to people. I think a lot of my Geminis have ended in disappointments where they tell people what they want to do and they always get criticized, or people always judge you, or you feel like people always put you down, and you just don't want the negativity. You don't want to deal with people that aren't going to be there for you. So a lot of you guys are just kind of keeping it quiet. Maybe some of you guys are acting like nothing's really happening in your life. I really feel like you guys maybe are just kind of putting up this front that you're doing okay. But maybe emotionally, some of you guys are struggling this month. You're struggling through disappointments, pains, feeling kind of alone, maybe feeling really abandoned by certain people. Feeling like nobody really sees your worth or your value. And I'm also just getting that you guys are kind of pushing yourselves to be better, to strive. But that's what's causing you guys a lot of pain. See, I feel like you guys are in a lot of pain and you just don't talk about it, Gemini, because maybe you don't want to burden other people. Or again, you just don't want other people's input because you're afraid that it's going to slow you down in a way. Because again, I feel like you guys have been around a lot of people that were like naysayers, or people that just, they make you question yourself too much, and maybe you're aware that you need to be more stable. And so the only way to do that is by trying to work it out through your own self. But you still enjoy your friends and your family and your loved ones. But I feel like some of you guys maybe want to even right your wrongs to other people, or other people want to do that for you, Gemini. But I'm really getting that a lot of you guys are trying to change the way you view relationships. You're trying to change the way that you have other people perceiving you. And I think for a lot of you guys, that's kind of where you're really struggling with at the moment, is you're trying to figure out where you're going to fit in to a particular group of people if you change or shift. Some of you guys are really focusing on wanting to start something better because some of you feel maybe like life has been very difficult for you guys. And I think that a lot of my Geminis, you guys have learned a lot of lessons over the last couple of years. And I feel like you guys are just kind of reaching this point where you're kind of wanting to give up and you're needing to push yourself a little bit further to make the finish line. You need to tell yourself that you're okay. I think a lot of you guys, you're around certain people that are trying to prove to you that they love you, but you keep pushing them away, or maybe you just keep withdrawing yourself because you're so afraid of not being enough, or you're so worried that you're never going to be able to live up to other people's expectations of you. But I feel like whatever path you guys have been on, it was destined for you guys to get there, because I feel like it's opening you up and awakening you guys to a different part of yourself that you didn't even know existed. And you're building up faith that miracles and other things can happen to you. You know, you guys are learning to ask and know that things are going to come in. So it's like maybe some of you guys say, okay, universe, I would like this. And then you start having faith. Maybe you start taking the steps, knowing that it's going to be destined for you. I think that you guys have gone through a lot of ups and downs with relationships, and that has really helped view the way you view the world, how you view others. And maybe you guys are afraid to let go of this part of yourself that's more vain. Not saying that you guys are like really vain people, but maybe you guys really do worry, or maybe you judge people by their appearance, or you judge people by their first glance. And I think that for some of you guys, this is another lesson that you're learning right now, is don't look at people like a book. You know, you don't judge a book by its cover. Some of you guys, maybe growing up, that's what you were taught, was to judge people by the way that they looked. Or maybe you were afraid of how other people judged how you looked. But I'm getting that, like, some of you guys are really starting to see the value of other people, and maybe in the past you couldn't really see that person's value because of maybe the way that they would appear, maybe the way that they would dress, the way that they would do certain things. And so a lot of you guys are really learning to let that go, maybe letting go of the belief that you have to look a particular way to be loved or to be seen. Like there's things that you guys are dropping that can be considered vain, or being around people that are considered vain. And I think that a lot of you guys have had a lot of perseverance. You've gone through a lot. You've had to push yourself to the limit. And I think that while you were pushing yourself, you were still grieving over the loss of things that you've had in the past. And you were still trying to push yourself forward. So even though you felt like the past was an anchor, you still didn't stop. That still didn't stop a lot of my Geminis from pulling yourselves still and looking towards the future. But a lot of you guys need to now take that time out and grieve, because a part of you guys maybe feel like a victim to your own circumstances, to your own surroundings, because you grew up feeling guilty for wanting things, for needing things, for essentially living. Because we all have needs, we all have wants and desires. And I feel like a lot of you guys growing up was shamed for those, or wasn't allowed to go past that, wasn't allowed to have what it is that you want. I think a lot of you guys, you fear change because you don't know how others will respond. You fear change because you're afraid of what you're going to lose. And I think that a lot of you guys are learning now to let that go, because there's only so much that you can hold on to. There's only so much that you can allow before it just becomes too much. So I feel like a lot of you are learning to trust that you are on the right path, and to know that you don't have to be beautiful, or you don't have to look or act a specific way to get love. You know, because maybe at a young age, that's what you were taught. You were taught to be a specific way in order to be loved. And now you believe that that's how you have to be. But that's not. That's an outdated belief that needs to be changed. And you are always evolving and always changing characters. So be willing to say, okay, I liked playing this character, but now it's time to play a different character. And just imagine it like that. Because when we go through life, we do change, we do evolve, we do have different beliefs, and we do, even our style of clothing, even the way we do things, start to change and shift over time. So you have to learn to look at it like, well, that's just one act that I put up for a really long time. Now it's time to be somebody different, because it's boring to play the same actor over and over again. It's always fun to play a different role. And I think that that's where a lot of my Geminis are starting to notice is, what role have you been playing for way too long? And what time do you need to start shifting and changing that? We also have no place like home, but it's in the reverse. I think a lot of you guys have never felt like you were truly belonged anywhere. Maybe when you were around people, you've always felt alone. When you're alone, you've always felt alone. It's like this sense of isolation, like you're like this lonely island just floating in the middle of nowhere. And it's difficult because I feel like a lot of you guys, you tried to find your tribe. You tried to find people that you can resonate with. But I feel like a lot of you guys struggle to find people that can communicate or that can understand you, because maybe you have a hard time truly understanding yourself, or maybe you're just afraid that others won't accept you for who you are, that you gravitate around faker people that don't see your worth or your value, Gemini, because you have a hard time doing that with yourself. And it's like around and around, being around same people, same circumstances, things that are holding you back. You need to learn to take action with that yang energy, really bring in the masculine. So a lot of my Geminis for the month of February, you guys are really going to be focusing more on the masculine side, getting things done, no longer staying stagnant, not allowing other people or even like your own beliefs hold you back. So a lot of you guys are going to be moving forward, and you guys are going to be, when you start moving yourself forward and when you start persevering over things that you know that you have to move forward for, because you need to realize why you want to heal. Why do you want to do some of the things that you want to do? Get clear with that. And that's what's going to really help you have the momentum to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve, because you have to have that deep inner knowing. And I think for a lot of you guys, you're reaching that point of really having that deeper inner knowing, because you are aware somewhere deep inside, Gemini, you're aware that whatever you're at, whatever you are doing currently, you know that it's time to go. You know that you need to leave that situation. You know that you need to let go of whatever this is that's holding you guys back. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, this has been very difficult for you guys to let go, because you know that it would require a clean it up. It would require you to have to clean up the disaster that it would leave, to have to start all over again. And that's what I'm picking up for a lot of my Geminis, is you guys are going to have to start all over again for some of you. And for some, it's like, it's not as drastic, but for a lot of you, it's like you have to start over, maybe a new relationship, a new career, a new foundation. You have to start from the ground back up, because whatever you were building was not true. It wasn't real, or it just wasn't sustainable. And as time goes on, you started to notice the faulty ground that it was on, and you started to notice cracks. You started to notice things that just didn't seem to flow as easily, and life started to become more and more difficult. You started to accumulate more difficulty throughout your life, and it felt like nothing seemed to be going right. And it's because everything had to kind of break and crumble in order for things to finally be rebuilt, in order for you to say, okay, I can't ignore this situation anymore. It's time that I have to take action now. And I have this deeper understanding that if I stay where I am, I'm just going to sink, or I'm just going to stay stuck, and I can't do that. So a lot of you guys are evolving. A lot of you guys are changing, but it's like a difficulty here, because you're having to say goodbye to fake people or fake circumstances, or just things that just don't resonate with you anymore. You know, it doesn't mean that it's bad, but it doesn't mean that it's meant to stay. So a lot of you guys are just learning to really allow yourself to let it go and to move forward with that. So let's get the last cards here for you guys. All right, so we have Divine Source. Help me know that all my deepest needs will be met. Let me trust that you have a plan and the right actions will come. You are my source for all. Exactly. Things are going to come. You just have to have faith and trust that it will. We also have here freedom. I no longer want this fiery ring of resentment to block the good. Release me from its bonds. Yeah, no longer holding on to resentment and holding on to resentment and holding on to the bitterness of life or life's experiences only weighs you down, only restricts your own freedom, you know, and also the freedom of others. If you can't learn to like forgive or just let it go, and you always hold something over other people's heads, it's like nobody feels safe. Nobody feels like they can be trusted again. You know, it's like everybody has that part of ourselves that we block ourselves from really being free. And I think that for a lot of you guys, it's like you need to know that your needs will be met, and that it's okay to release resentment. It's okay to release things that no longer serve us, because we deep down, we know we're meant to be free. We also have let go. Everything is indeed out of control, and God will hold it all. I can safely let go. Exactly. Know that wherever it falls, when you let go, wherever it lands, that's where it was meant to land. So don't worry about how it should or would be. It's going to happen the way it's meant to be, like with that destiny card. We have sacrifice. Sometimes surrendering is painful. God's cutting away all that needs to go. Illusions, obsessions, addictions. It's a sacrifice to love. Yeah, I feel like a lot of things right now is being burned away or stripped away in my Gemini's life. And it has a lot to do with things that you could have been obsessed with had addictions to. Learning to let go of all of the illusions that are holding you back is really what's going to propel you guys, so like to propel you forward to being a better person. Especially when you have let go and it's time to go, like a lot of just energy of wanting to move forward and needing to. We also have the bottom of the deck here, inner child. Allow me to give compassion and love to the little one. Let me attend to its deepest needs and feelings. Especially when I said, what is this? All your needs, all your deepest needs will be met. Trusting that it's going to happen. The universe gives you like breaks in between so that you can digest what it gives you. So learn to appreciate what happens. Learn to appreciate the breaks, the times when things become chaotic and hectic. That's when you know good things are going to come into your life, is when things start to fall away. That's when you know new things are coming in, and you need to look at it with a more optimistic lens. What are you going to be gaining instead of losing? What are you learning instead of staying in resentment? When you stay in resentment, you're not learning the lesson. When you are sitting and you're complaining, you're not causing the problem to go away. You're just causing more problems on the problem instead of coming up with solutions. So pay attention to your habits, pay attention to your beliefs, and allow yourself to let go of things that no longer serve you, and know that it's okay to let whatever the pieces fall. Let things fall. Let things go because it's meant to go. And the more you hold on, the more painful it is for you in the end, because it's going to fall no matter what. So holding on to it is only going to cause further pain. Instead, learn to just let it go and let the pain happen and then let it leave. Don't hold on to the pain. The pain's not meant to be held on to. It's meant to go. It's meant to come, and then it's meant to go. So look at it like the ebb and flow. Just stick with what you know and trust that things will always work out in your highest good. Make rational decisions, be smart with your energy, but also know that things that you can't control will somehow work itself out, and you don't need to worry or stress about it or hold yourself back or fear that something bad's going to come of it. Instead, look at it from a better way. Know that no matter what happens, you will always be safe and you will always be protected. So that's what I have for my Geminis. February sounds like it's going to be a little bit of a rough patch, but I think a lot of you guys have kind of gone through those ups and downs, but it's really going to help once everything lets go and everything falls away. It's really going to help you guys stable yourself and to become more, become happier in the end when life starts to become more stable for you. Once things let go, new things will come in and things will start to work out. So that's what I have for you. Thank you guys so much. Have a great and wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.